Hello there, wonderful people of Earth, and welcome back to my channel, which is with DJ. DJ here, and today we're going to be going over modal verbs and their uses. Before we get into this video, guys, make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoy, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. There are quite a few different types of modal verbs, and we're going to be going over them. The first one we're going over is ability. Modal verbs of ability are used to say that someone has or hasn't got a particular ability. For example, if you wanted to describe someone's ability in the present, you would say can or can't. Or in the past, could or couldn't. Some examples could be, Francesca can speak 5 languages, but she can't speak Russian. Or, as a child, Francesca could play the piano, but she couldn't play the violin. Now, we also have possibility. To express possibility about the present or the future, we use may, might, or could. For example, it might be cold outside, you should take a coat. I may come and visit you next summer. Or it could rain later, so I will take an umbrella with me. If you want to express negative possibility, we can only use may not or might not. Note that we can't use cannot, which I'll go over in a second. For example, you might not be very well, you look sick, which is possibility. But if you said, you look sick, you cannot be very well, that's certainty. Possibility expresses that there's a chance that something could happen, but certainty means that you're 100% sure it could happen. And to express possibility in the past, we use may have, might have, and could have. And the past participle. It might have been cold outside, you should have taken a coat. I may have come and visited you next summer. It could have rained later, so I should have taken an umbrella with me. We also have certainty. And to express certainty, in the present we would use must, or in the past we would use must have and the past participle. For example, she speaks 7 languages, so she must be clever, very clever. This essentially means I am certain she is clever because it uses the word must. I could smell the food, so it must have been ready. This is in the past. And using must have shows that you're certain the food was ready. And of course, for the negative, you would use can't for the present, and can't have in the present, and couldn't or couldn't have in the past. For example, you just had lunch, so you can't be hungry, which means you're certain that you are not hungry. Or Mark was on holiday, so he couldn't have been coming to the party today, which means you were certain that Mark would not be coming to the party. If we use should or ought to, we are expressing advice. For example, you should buy some new shoes. Or you ought to go to sleep early, you look tired. In the negative, shouldn't is much more common than oughtn't to. For example, you shouldn't speak so quickly. So I would suggest using shouldn't over oughtn't, as oughtn't just sounds weird. And also, should instead of ought to is more common to form questions. For example, should I buy some new shoes? In addition, we have obligation. If we use must or have to, we're expressing obligation. For example, I must go to bed earlier, or they must do something about it. When we use must, this usually means that some personal circumstance makes the obligation necessary, and the speaker almost certainly agrees with the obligation. If we use have to, we're expressing a strong obligation. This usually means that some external circumstance makes the obligation necessary, like a rule or a law. Like, I have to arrive at work at 9 sharp. My boss is very strict. Or, you have to pass your exams or the university will not accept you. We also have planet prohibition. If we use can't or mustn't, we're expressing prohibition. Like, you can't park here, sir. Or, you mustn't speak when the teacher is speaking. Can't tells us that something is against the rules, but mustn't is usually used when the obligation comes from the person who is speaking. Make sure not to use don't have to express prohibition. You mustn't use your mobile phone here shows that it's prohibited. But if you say you don't have to use your mobile phone here, it shows that it's not necessary, but it doesn't mean that it's not allowed. And finally, don't use mustn't in the past. It is not possible. To talk about prohibition in the past, we use not allowed to. In the present, we could say we mustn't speak. If we're talking in the past, we would say we were not allowed to speak, as saying we mustn't speak doesn't make any sense. Thanks for watching this quick video, all about modal verbs, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Have a great rest of your day, and this is DJ, signing